Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It is our the vision of Jacksonville North Pulaski School District will be the model school district where every learner is valued and empowered to become a successful contributing member of society. It's our mission to foster a culture of ownership and accountability through partnerships that create multiple pathways for success. Mr. McDaniel, would you mind calling the roll for us this evening?
Absolutely. Colonel Estelle, absent. Daniel Gray,
Here.
Ava Coleman,
Here.
Jim Moore is absent. Ron McDaniel present. Dina Tony,
Here.
Lauren Martin,
Here.
and Laurel Walker.
Here.
We have quorum.
Very good. You'll join me as we stand. We'll observe a moment of silence followed by the pledge.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First thing we have are some special presentations. Dr. Ola, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Good evening, everyone. I want to ask Dr. Walker to come, and she's going to lead us in our presentations for this evening.
Good evening. We have two presentations. We have Mr. Stewart, who is representing Jacksonville High School in the absence of Ms. Biggs. She is away at Louisville, Kentucky, attending the Academies of Central Arkansas with the whole group. And so Mr. Stewart, if you would come forward, and he's going to do that presentation. And then we have some scholars here tonight, and he's going to have a brief presentation for them.
Thank you, and good evening, Board and Dr. Ola. Tonight we're going to talk about our advanced placement scores that we have received from last school year, and nothing better than to hear from our scholars who do those advanced placement classes. So our advanced placement program has grown over the last several years. I've been here for 4 years, and I can tell you the offerings continue to grow, not just the courses that we offer, but the amount of sections that we need to offer because our scholars who are choosing to take those. So just in the last year, we've doubled how many scholars are taking advanced placement courses. We added 2 advanced placement courses this year, human geography and AP government. This shows our scholars who, some are current scholars, some who are graduated this previous year. All of these scholars are scholars who have earned either the AP Scholar or also the AP Scholar with graduating with honors or AP Scholar with distinction. So we do have a good amount of scholars who are currently on our campus, whether they are in sophomore or junior level, who are well on their way to also earn this. So we will hopefully in the future have multiple slides that demonstrate how many scholars are earning this. In order to earn these titles,
Would you mind fixing the microphone?
And while he's fixing that, Mr. Stewart, I don't want to steal your thunder, but for an audience, I want you to pay attention to the number of exams our young people took last year. And so they're not just taking 1 or 2 exams, but multiple. And notice a number that they've received credit on.
Thank you for pointing that out. So we do have scholars who they're looking for classes to take. One of the things that I didn't point out on that previous slide, I was part of a conversation this summer. One of the counselors who has also started about the same time I did 4 years ago, she made the comment how our AP courses have grown and our concurrent classes have reduced. So we have scholars who are choosing to take AP classes. That not only means they're staying on our campus, they're staying in our building, but they have developed relationships with our teachers who are teaching these and feel like they're getting better benefits from those than a concurrent class through UA Law. One of our, or several of our celebrations, our African American Studies and AP Art Studio average score was, those courses had averages for our scholars pass rate higher than both the state and global pass rate. 86 scores qualified for free college credit, and as we saw in that previous slide, some of those were multiple courses that one scholar was able to achieve. Art, which is that AP Studio Art, English Language, which is that 11th grade, and I believe Dr. O is getting a crash course in that this year, as well as Computer Science, all matched or outscored the state average. So the more important thing is, why are we doing this? And so I asked Ms. Gardner. Ms. Gardner, keep going back to this, started 4 years ago. We came in the same time, and as a first-year teacher, I immediately saw her commitment to making sure our scholars were getting the most rigorous education that they could. And so she immediately took on the lead on this AP program, and she now coordinates for our building all the AP teachers and all the mock exams that we do, as well as we've got some scholars here that are going to speak on why they chose the AP program.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Ms. Gardner. First, I'll talk about the first 2 points before I introduce some of our lovely students. I also do all of the things that he said, and then I teach AP Literature and AP Language. And so language is the 11th grade, and lit is what they go to afterwards. Those oftentimes qualify for the Comp 1 and 2 that is required at the beginning of college, so they're very, very important. Well, so to begin, okay, so the teacher commitment to excellence, I cannot speak highly enough about our teacher group that we work with. We really have been formulating it into an actual PLC and making sure that we are collaborating together. And so some of that collaboration really looked like 3 years ago, sitting down and saying, what can we do to really improve this program? And the number one thing that we said was those high expectations. And so we have high expectations for each other. We have really high expectations for our students. And so we do ask them to sit down 2 times in a school year and take a full AP exam. And we do that because our data has consistently shown that that has improved those AP scores. But the number one thing that we're seeing when we see the teacher excellence or teacher commitment to excellence is that not only is this fostering an environment where we have so many students who already existed in our school who are very committed to school and really want that extra rigor, they really want to be pushed. But we've also seen large pockets of students who maybe were not as invested, were not able to find their place, or maybe as invested in like their core classes, who are genuinely very proud to be a part of this program. And even though they may not, think that they can earn the qualifying score at the end of the year, we tell parents all the time, and they really do believe that like the worst thing that happens is they see an immense amount of growth. And so that is really kind of where the teachers kind of come in. And then the UALR AIMS support, once again, cannot speak highly enough about their commitment to our campus and all the things that they have done for us. They do foster the mock reading, which is phenomenal professional development for our teachers. And it really is one of the number one things that has driven that success that you've seen on the previous slides. Okay, so I'll go ahead and introduce some of our students. Come on. They're probably nervous. All right, Marlena Beard, she'll go first.
Good evening. This is my second, third year taking AP classes. It started my sophomore year. I was taking AP World with Mr. Don. He was a great teacher. And then last year I had Ms. Garner for AP Lane. And this year I had her for AP Lit and Mr. Dash for AP Pre-Cal as well. I prefer to take AP classes instead of concurrent because I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't feel like I have enough self-discipline to do them online. Not only that, I feel like I learn more in a classroom interacting with my teachers than I ever would through a computer screen. It's the fact that it seems like they care more, and it makes me understand more, and it shows that I'm not only putting in effort, they are too.
Thank you. Good job.
Okay, hi, my name is Khalid Smith, and I've been taking advanced placement classes since the ninth grade, and I've had Miss Gardner specifically since the ninth grade, and I came here because Miss Garner has made me want to learn because I feel like AP classes are better because from my experience, my teachers are very passionate about my education as well, and they push us harder. And I feel like in concern class, you don't get that same heart to heart. Like Miss Gardner, like if I don't understand something, she'll take the time out of her day to sit down with me, explain, break things down, and do things one-on-one. If I ever need anything, and that goes for Mr. Dion as well, because I'm not good at history to be honest, but he took the time to explain things thoroughly and to break things down in a way that made it easy for me. And another reason why AP classes are beneficial to me is because they prep us to be a part of community. Like, I feel like AP classes are better because they help us actually prepare for society. Like, yes, of course, we get more work.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, guys, I'm really short. Of course, we get more work and more homework, but I can't think of a respectable job where you don't have work outside of work. So it prepares us like for the doctors, the lawyers, like prepares us to put that work in. And it teaches us that hard work actually does pay off. So when we go to college, we already have a head start. We can work even harder for our careers that we want to pursue. And Ms. Gardner has shown me not only to be a better student, but to be a better person and to put that effort in.
Hey, my name is Sung Nguyen. I'm in my senior year now, and today I have taken like 8 AP classes. Um, a lot of people ask me why would I taking AP classes. It is true that it's easier to get credit or learn the topic easier through concurrent classes with computer screen. But something that's not um, it's not getting my attention is that AP classes, I have great teachers who come up to me and offer me the life skill and the life lessons that I would never get from construction classes. Uh, I always shy. I always, trying to be like the background. But through AP classes, especially Mrs. Diane and Miss Gardner, who have taught me to become more open, be more, standing here and talking to you guys, sharing my experience. Without them, I would not have stayed here and talk about that stuff. And it's not just about a topic. It's about becoming a better person, becoming a citizen, how to use those topics to your community. And that's why I would refer AP classes because I don't believe that a computer screen would help me achieve those goals.
And not only do I appreciate that, we have them here, it just displays the diversity that we have in this program. Our school, of course, we have the academies and we have the things that we are definitely shining at, but this AP program is something that we will be able to continue to put on that map as we celebrate and get into the 9th and 10th year of existence as a district, to be able to say, look what we've done and look how much we've grown over the last 10 years. Any questions, please?
What was
The number was like 280 to like 400 and something as far as the classes.
That's how many scholars were enrolled in those courses. So last school year, we had 280 scholars enrolled in AP courses. And so this year we have almost 500 scholars enrolled in AP courses.
What's the total enrollment?
Of our school, right around 1,100.
Like almost 50%, almost.
And that's important to us. So we offered this AP government class this year, which can be taken in lieu of civics. And so that's a 9th grade course. So we're getting them as soon as they come in and they're able to start that AP track. And that definitely helps in being able to, as we have this example on the next one with the amount of distinctions that they can earn on their diploma for how many AP courses they've taken.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. And forward as Dr. Walker comes and Captain Warren, I'll share with you, last year was the first year that we actually taught AP African American Studies, and you saw how our young people performed just in this first year. So we're definitely proud of our program, all of our educators, administrators, especially our young people who are doing what it takes. Captain Warren.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Ola. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you again. It was just a few months ago that I saw you in April, I believe. So thanks for the opportunity. Since we met in April, 10 of our cadets graduated cadet leadership course in the summer at Camp Robinson, and they were going to school with in the course with Cabot and several other schools. There's probably about 8 or 10 schools that were represented there at Camp Robinson, and we started with a dozen, and one of them here, Adam, he was injured on the obstacle course about halfway through, and the thing I like to point out is with the character of some of our cadets. The first thing he said to me when he was getting in his car to leave was, "Can I do this next year?" So even though he's leaving with an injured knee, all he could think about was graduating this leadership course and the effort that he had put in so far. So the character of our cadets really, it brings me back to work every single day. And let me get to the next slide. This is us visiting the Capitol. And this year, the program is held, we're sitting somewhere around 120 cadets, which is about 20 more than we have to stay viable. So that's a good number. I had a whole different slide here, a week or two ago. So I know when Dr. Ola asked for the slides the other day, I was thinking, what slides? Because I just had to change the welcome. Now we have a ASI opening, and it's been advertised through all the different ways that we can advertise it. I even called a veterans organization on base to advertise it. So word of mouth, we're passing that. The problem is that it takes such a long time to replace somebody in this position. And as I get older and older, it really worries me not having a second person there, because these cadets are truly amazing. I have contacted the OG to see if he wanted to come back and do a little sub work. So Sergeant Williams and Miss Boswell, she subbed with me years ago, see if they wanted to come in and give us a little help. We do have an inspection this year. It went from every 4 years to now it's every year. They did go from about 30 pages of things that we had to make sure we were straight on to about 15 to 20. So it is still pretty substantial inspection we're going to have in December, but I believe that we'll be ready for it. Our first blood drive happened last week. Our goal was 20. We hit 24 donations, and even Dr. Ola was one of our cadets had asked him to come out and donate. He donated. Usually Miss Biggs is our first person sitting in the chair, so we really appreciate all the people that showed up for that. One of the concerns I had was to find here that we haven't been flying flags at JMS or JES since basically it opened. So my wife and I ordered some U.S. flags where we can hopefully get those put up maybe next week. I'm going to bring out some of my cadets and let them teach some of the students or the scholars how to properly raise and lower the flag. So we're going to work that, and we're also going to try to visit Merle Taylor and Balmita as well. So as I mentioned, 10 cadets graduated from the cadet leadership course. Cadet Adams, Bernard, Bryant, who is back there. I see another one or two has walked in. Copeland is here. Go ahead and stand while I mention your name. All right, and I saw Green's here, and also Helm just walked in. And
Why don't you have them come on down front?
Jackson, hey, come on down here. You didn't know I was gonna let you come up to the mic and speak, did you? All right, and let's see, we have Ruiz, Serrano, and Stannis. Come on up. Come on, Adam, come join us. And I think what's important for you to notice here is none of the, oh, I didn't see, sorry, Dave, I'm glad you made it too. You don't see, there's not one senior here, not one. All right, they're all 10th and 11th graders standing before you. And that tells you how strong this program has become and the great future that it has. So we owe them every effort we can to bring in another instructor and all the help that we can get to keep this program running as well as it is. And I'll tell you, Ruiz, who's not here, I want to mention something special about him. He had so much in 10 days of camp, 7 days of camp, being yelled at and in order to do this, that, and the other, that he called up the guard and he went and volunteered for another week to help a group of youth. Now he's a sophomore. To help a bunch of troubled youth in camp for an entire week. So he had 70 or 80 hours of community service for that week just this summer after we left camp. So it's a special group of young scholars that we have, and I really appreciate them, and I'm thankful for them. So thank you all. And I hope you got to see it Friday night. Did you get there in time?
No, I actually had to work late.
Oh my goodness. Well, when you have a 30 by 60 flag, 20 yards by 10 yards, and you're always worried, it's going to touch the ground at some point. But those cadets, and let me point out that we had about 35 cadets, the majority of which are ninth graders that are already in love with the program and enjoying being there. And they're out there on the field. And they opened that flag up so quickly that there was a pop breaking the sound barrier of that flag opening up. So I was extremely proud of them. We had a fantastic color guard in front of them. And like I said, the future of this program continues to be bright. And I think that it can only improve with the next instructors that we bring in. Y'all have any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Captain Warren.
All right, is that all? That's all of our special presentation? Yes, sir. Very good. Next, we have our legal update, Mr. Scott Richardson. Welcome, sir. Come on down. Watch that mic.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I've got two items to update you about. One's, I think, good positive news. The other is a little more mixed. First thing that I want to update you about is our motion for unitary status. We had interveners proposed. Mostly they complained about the difference in the size between Biomedu and that, just to place it in context too. Every year we owe the court a status update on replacement of our school facilities that was ordered through the desegregation case. So this year, since we were replacing the last two facilities and they're now open, instead of just filing status report, we filed a motion for unitary status to say this is the accomplishment of the final task, and this district should be declared unitary and released from federal court supervision. We filed that motion. The interveners responded. They complained about some of the paint colors. They like better over at Lester than at the two new schools. They complained some about the floor finishes. And they felt like Lester was a larger school than the two new schools. We filed a reply saying, yes, Lester is larger because it serves a larger student body, and the size is driven by the state formula for how you design schools. So you don't build a 600 student school for a 500 student school. So I feel good about our reply. I'm not quite sure what the judge will do, but that's all teed up, and you're as close as you've ever been to full unitary status, I think. I believe we should be successful on the motion, but, knock on wood, I can't promise that. The other update is our ongoing management of our fiscal audit, which you've heard about. We had a special meeting about. The Arkansas leader has chosen to report on that and reported on it in kind of a mixed fashion. I sent a letter to the publisher suggesting changes to it. I got some responses back, and I printed those out. I'll share them with you on Wednesday so you can review those. It was not the tone that I had hoped for in responding back. But I did receive an email this evening just before the meeting. Apparently, the main article that reported on the findings is going to correct some of the inaccuracies. It did. We have a little bit of a disagreement about when that occurred. There were some editorials that repeated these inaccuracies. When I checked at 4 o'clock today, they were still repeating those inaccuracies, but it appears that those will now be corrected because the publisher spoke to legislative audit to correct them on, we didn't say what you're telling your readers that we said. So that may be working itself out to some extent. And I was originally just going to come and say that the publisher seems to be upset with the district, so I'll watch for FOIs. A lot of times people get upset with the district, they'll start sending FOI requests, launching investigations into whatever they think there may be. But I can tell you that I was told by the publisher this evening in this email that he will be sending additional FOI requests. So just be on the lookout for those. You're all well aware of the Freedom of Information Act and what it requires of you. Things that you do in your official capacity as a board member, text messages, emails, things like that, are potentially subject to the FOI. You want to be mindful of that. Be careful about email communication and text communication among each other. The one thing he said that he would FOI, the audit does have some findings about some related party transactions. This is owned by board members. He wanted to dig into that. I guess he's not satisfied with the explanation that has been provided so far. So we'll receive, when and if we receive those, we'll respond to those. He also wanted my billing information for the district. I'll just go ahead and provide that to him. We're happy to provide it. It's all subject to FOI. But so those are two updates. I think we have our meeting with legislative audit this week, I believe on Thursday.
That's correct.
Hopefully after that, this audit will settle down and we can get back to business of educating students, not worrying about legislative audit, but we may have to deal with the legal for a little bit longer. We'll see what happens there. Any questions?
Yes, the audit, the hearing is, or the committee meets 1 o'clock or 1:30?
1:30.
1:30 on Thursday. Dr. Ola and myself have been, subpoena, that's not the right, we've been there, told to be there. And I am planning on being there. Dr. Ola is planning on being there as well. So I think if you're available, I don't think it hurts at all.
I'm planning on being there. I think the three of us will sit at the table and answer questions from the committee. You're all welcome to attend. It's a public meeting. You can also watch on the computer. It's live stream. It doesn't hurt to have more. members show interest and concern about what's being discussed at the meeting, but I think a lot of the explanations for the audit findings are consistent with what we met about before and how it was explained to you by Dr. Owad, Mr. Hunt, and I. So you'll hear some repeated information. You're welcome to see.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the update. And, Mr. Feldman had texted me some information. We tried to, attempted to answer the questions and provide the information. I think that the meeting we had in public was, we went detail by point response on the audit findings. And, they chose not to have anybody here for that. And it just kind of got blown out of proportion in my opinion, when Dr. Owa's and my picture were put up like mugshots and criminality suspected. I think that was the original headline, and I just thought it was kind of silly. And I think they've taken umbrage with me thinking that was silly. Might have stemmed some of this, the feelings of whatever. So, my apologies.
I think when they see the responses that we got to our letters, it'll become clear what's going on.
Yeah. Well, very good. Any other questions? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And we have a ribbon cutting at the beautiful new Biomeda tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And we have a ribbon cutting at the beautiful new Merle Taylor Thursday at 10 o'clock. So come out and take a gander at these beautiful new facilities we have with stained concrete floors.
I've been working with the district for not quite 10 years now. So it's been fun to watch all that happen and the district grow and change. And it's such a different district than it was 10 years ago. So, well done.
Thank you very much. And I think some of the presentations this evening are great examples of how our community's benefited, and our kids are doing outstanding, and we're just we're proud to serve here.
Let's do that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, speaking of facilities, time for a facilities update. Baldwin and Shell and WER. Come on down.
Well, good evening, Dr. Owen, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm Michael Hansberry. I have John Leffler with me this evening. As far as the facilities update, I think it's already been mentioned that both projects, Biomeda and Merle Taylor, we're celebrating the opening of those projects this week, beginning tomorrow and concluding on Thursday. We're very excited about that. Excited to have the opportunity to celebrate and bring another project home with you all. I know it was tough getting them in budget, but we got them in budgets, and we look forward to closing them out financially and coming back to you with the savings. So we're very excited about that. This evening, we also want to present on yet another project that we're working on with you all together with WER Russ and his team. Is the Merle Taylor Elementary Conversion Project for the clinic. This project started as a quite large project, and we've narrowed the scope down to a third of it, or a portion of it. So now it's the clinic only. And the number that we want to present, the estimate that we're presenting to you all today is $3,218,423 for the complete renovation of the clinic at Merle Taylor. That includes a 21-week duration. If it's approved today, we're planning to start the project, mobilize, and begin demolition by the end of October. We're anticipating that we can reach substantial completion around late March of 2025. However, and I listened to Mr. Lester earlier, part of the scope of work is replacing out the electrical service switchgear. If you all remember, I don't know if you all know or not, but we ran into a little bit of a lead time issue with switchgear on both Bayamita and Merle Taylor on the new elementary school. Such a long lead time. That industry just hadn't gotten things moving quite quickly since COVID, since the pandemic. So due to the lead time, we're anticipating that we won't even receive that switchgear until June. However, we think we can utilize the existing service to get the clinic completed, get it successfully completed, get it up and running, and then in June, once the new switchgear arrives, we can come back in. We'll have to do a shutdown and change out all the electrical switchgear for the new service for the project. I don't know, does everybody have a proposal?
No, probably in the drive, it'll be in the drive.
Okay. Also, with the specific details you want to give. So essentially, we have to do a couple of things to get that project in budget. So upon approval, WER, the design team, we need to take a couple of weeks to refine the document. We think there are some potential savings. There's a few clarifications that we're trying to work out for local fire marshal. If we're able to work that out and omit the fire suppression system, we're confident that we'll be able to reduce that price by an additional $248,000. So we're pretty optimistic about that. But yeah, we still need that final clarification from the state agency. Any questions?
Questions? So how does this in line with that price that we just heard, 3.2? How does that kind of factor into what you were thinking as far as just the clinic? And tell me the other, you said we narrowed it down or trimmed it down to a third of what remind me the other 2/3?
So the overall project is to renovate the multi-purpose building so that it houses the K-5 ALE program. And then the back part of Merle Taylor, opposite of the clinic, would be renovated for pre-K. And then the back part where we provide special services would be daycare. And so we decided to break them up in phases because of potential renovations or additions that we may have to have at other schools. We did not want to exhaust our building fund with this renovation in case we need to add at the middle school or somewhere else. And so that's the reason why we broke it up into thirds.
So how far off do we think we're going to have to push the pre-K transfer to, because Homer Atkins is in need of some repairs?
Well, we hope to revisit the pre-K and even the K-5 ALE project towards the spring of this year so that we can continue those conversations. But we wanted to get through with the two new buildings, Merle Taylor and Bayamita, finish paying those off, weigh the decision on if we needed to add to the middle school or what we're going to do for the middle school because of the increased enrollment. And so we want to complete all of those and then complete the clinic, then to see where we are financially in our building fund to make that decision and move forward with the pre-K. So we hope to be able to make that decision by late spring so that the renovation process could continue for that building.
Okay.
So the clinic is in conjunction with Unity, is that not
Our
Okay.
care.
Our care, okay. I thought it was Unity. Mm-hmm.
We have a partnership with Unity at the high school with our academy, but the clinic is in partnership with our care. They won the bid for that.
All right. Any other questions? So is there we need a motion this evening to move forward with that?
Yes, sir.
That's the recommendation.
That's the recommendation to approve the clinic portion of the renovation project.
All right. So we've got a recommendation to move forward from Dr. Owa. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any questions or further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right,
Look forward to it.
let's roll.
All right, we hope to see everyone tomorrow.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it.
We'll be getting tours tomorrow.
All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow at Biomeda at 10 a.m., 9:45.
Or a little bit before.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right, you all.
Next, we have the Legacy Walk.
Yes.
Y'all have any, that's, we don't need them for that.
They've done all their part on that. It's up. We are working, Melissa, Ms. Rangel, and Mrs. Williams Chisa have completed the bios for the honorees, and so we have submitted the quote request to the actual vendor to get that back. So we're waiting on that, and then once I have that, I will be able to share it with you all so the board can determine a date for the recognition ceremony. But the recognition wall is up. It's just waiting for these plaques to be made and for us to host the recognition ceremony.
Do we have some dates in mind? I think late October, early November, was that when we?
Yes, we talked about late October, 1st of November. As soon as I get the quote in, I want to get the lead time from the vendor to see how long it would take, and then to include the last round that you all voted on. And so we're waiting to get a couple of more score sheets in, but that's going to be included as well.
Okay. All right. And then you'll just kind of circulate some dates for it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions on that? All right, district reports.
Just want to, superintendent's report, just a few updates. Mr. Richardson mentioned about the audit. We did submit the resolution for our BRED contract to the Secretary of Ed. We have received it back. It has been approved, and it was, of course, he approved it from the previous approval from the board, and so we're good to go on that. All financial disclosures have been submitted, and then, of course, the resolutions that we will have in-house have been completed. We've also had all of our directors and principals complete, as well as district leaders complete Tier 1 financial training, a portion of what you all received with the Arkansas School Boards Association. I will add that our board, for the public board, participated in that training session as well. And so we're in line with what our corrective action plan has stipulated, and we'll continue to move forward as outlined in that too. But I want to provide that up. Current enrollment, we currently are right under 4,200, and so we're holding steady even after the 10-day count. And so we're definitely pleased that our scholars and parents are continuing to choose JNPSD. We actually had a family to enroll this morning, and so we continue to welcome our families to the district. We've already mentioned the grand openings Tuesday and Thursday. Also, I would like to just remind everyone our ESSER funding will conclude December of this year, and so you'll see us tightening the budget as we move forward because we would not have that additional funding. And so as we go through this year, this is going to be a transitional year for us to look at programs and positions to see the individuals or the positions that have and the programs that have had the most impact on our young people so that we can continue those. Another goal for us is to continue to impact the salary schedule, so we have to make sure that we're spending accordingly and efficiently as it pertains to programs and positions. And so the team and I will continue to review those as well. The last thing I wanted to put on your radar, we have been approached to be a part of the phone free initiative. And so if the board would like to obtain more information or receive more information, we probably would need a work session to move forward so you can actually get detailed information out. So right now we'll just hold where we are until the board tells me otherwise about the phone free initiative. Is Governor Sanders has placed this funding that would be made available to school districts who opt into having a phone-free school environment. And if we opt into it, we can receive funding for any type of initiative or program that lends to the school having a phone-free environment. So one of them is this pouch that you could place the phone in. Then the students would place the phone in and either take the pouch with them throughout the day, or the pouch would stay with the teacher and they come pick it up. It's other initiatives that will fall underneath that grant option as well. And so that's why I said we would probably need a work session, because it's detailed and have other options that we could choose from. So, but that concludes my superintendent's report.
One question, Dr. Orr, do we get any partnership funds for the renovation of Merle Taylor?
We do not. Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. We do not receive funds for the renovation. Hence the reason why we want to be efficient and cost aware as we move forward with the project, because that would be all on the district and from our building fund. Thank you. No, sir.
Next item I've got is the consent agenda, which has the minutes of the August
5th, 2024 regular board meeting, the minutes of the August 27th work session board meeting, also the superintendent's reports, and the financial report. Is there anything that needs to be pulled off for discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Next item, we've got City Year with us this evening.
We want to welcome Executive Director Vice President Jennifer Cobb to the podium. We currently have a partnership with City Year for Jacksonville Elementary School, and the team and I were planning in a financial planning workshop at the beginning of the school year, and we learned that we needed to support Merle Taylor even more, and we were looking at federal funds, and it came to the opportunity of adding an additional team for Merle Taylor. And so I called or emailed Jennifer, and Jennifer said, ironically, they have a new group of core members coming in October, and so she felt like that they could make it happen. And then I'm gonna just tee it off for her. So.
Wonderful. Hi, friends.
Hello.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it was a wonderful, it was a beautiful week. Everything just, the stars aligned that week. We found out that we were going to get the mid-years that we wanted, and all of a sudden we had a great place to put them. I did want to spend just a few minutes. In front of you, you have a very detailed impact report just on our success in the district. It was an amazing year last year, and we're already off to a great start. Our core members and impact manager got to participate in the convocation with Jacksonville Elementary School, and are just having a wonderful time. They feel so welcome. So real quick, I just want to give you some highlights of the impact at this one school last year. We had 6 AmeriCorps members there at JES. Each core member serving completed 1,700 hours of service and training. 677 students benefited from our whole school, whole child activities. That's everything from greeting buses and running carpool to celebrations on holidays and Titan time and anything else that benefits the whole culture of the school. 90 unique students received those one-on-one interventions, either in literacy, math, behavior, or attendance. Our AmeriCorps members held 846 sessions. Oops, that's a hard return error. So that means there was 18,746 minutes of intervention. So that's a lot of one-on-one time with those students. And then the fun part is that 2 members of the team returned for a second year of service. And that doesn't even include Samantha Hicks, who is now the impact manager. So there's 3 veterans on the team this year at Jacksonville Elementary School. In terms of progress, we won't have final numbers until the end of year exams scores are released, but this is what we do know. In literacy, 67% students who started with a D or F in Q1 finished the year with a passing grade of C or higher by Q4. That's some really great progress. 38% of students met or exceeded the definition of achieving student growth of 40% or higher on the NWEA math. And that is given, remind me, Dr. Owen, is that given quarterly?
It is. I know it's 3 times.
3 times a year? Okay. So this is
Beginning,
not
middle,
the final, this is the mid-year report. So we had 38% of students who grew from the very first administration of that test to the second one. And then in math, 40% of students improved their course grade by at least 1 letter from Q1 to Q4. And that includes the ones that went from failing to passing, and then also any that had like a C and improved to a B or an A. Here's some great quotes, praise for Team Titan. The thing that I love is when we get this praise from the students and the administration, it makes us feel, I mean, that's one anecdotal way that we know we're doing a good job. My city year helped with most of my work, not all, because she believed I could do it on my own. She helped with literacy and always recognized me on how good I was in math. That's a 4th grade student. Ms. Grant, a 3rd grade teacher, says, my city year kept the classroom organized, was a welcome set of extra hands in the classroom to help students with their assignments and tutored small groups of students. And then Demaya, who's back for a 2nd year, said, my experience with city year has been nothing short of a whirlwind of laughs, tears, and friendship. I'm grateful for the connections I've made so far and the connections I will continue to make. And she was so pleased to go back to Jacksonville. So some exciting updates. Our impact manager, Samantha Hicks, and team leader, Montrez Deal, are back at Jacksonville. Sam was so cute. She texted me and she said that when they were introduced at the first meeting of the PD week, the whole faculty cheered. And she said that made her feel so good. We are getting ready to begin service at Jacksonville Middle School. So Jacksonville Elementary School doesn't have an after-school program or any after-school tutoring right now. And so we are going to walk across the parking lot and spend after school tutoring and mentoring in the middle school. So I think that's a real win-win. And then with y'all's permission, we will deploy another team to Merle Taylor to serve as student success coaches in 3rd through 5th grade. So the great thing about having Samantha, a veteran on campus at JES and JMS, is that she can start working now to build those relationships with the principal and the teachers at Merle Taylor. So when October, I think we said 20th rolls around, they'll be ready to go because they'll know how to make the most of it. So that's all I have to say in terms of a report. And then Dr. Owa, do you want me to talk about the cost of the amendment, or do they have?
They have it in their packet, but if you want to add anything.
Okay, no. We went ahead and we did this. So this is year 2 of a 3-year contract. And so we're amending this to include, instead of a full year of an 80% of the year, since Sam will start working now to build those relationships, and then up to 2 schools next year. We can always come back if there's an additional need, and if we have the additional 4 members to fill it, we will always get to yes. So looking at a total of $255,150 for this year.
And board, just to add to this for your information, these funds are coming out of our federal funds, and not the operating funds. And so this is a way so that, rank order based on the need, we're able to add this additional support to Merle Taylor because they're at the top of rank need. And so we wanted you to know that as well as how this is going to benefit the schools, the scholars at both schools moving forward.
All right.
And so you have in front of you in your packet the proposal, the revised contract, and my recommendation is to approve approve this amendment to the district service agreement between City Year, Little Rock, and Jacksonville North Pulaski School District.
All right, got a recommendation. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions or discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Congratulations. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
We're thrilled. We'll see y'all Thursday for the ribbon cutting, and then we'll have an open house in October once we get on the
Awesome.
ground.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, next item we have is the FY25 budget.
Yes, so before you, you have the federal and state categorical budget as well as the operating budget. As just mentioned, you'll see City Year listed as one of the services in our federal and state categorical budget. But we also, behind that, provided the operating budget according to state law. Before we can submit it September 30th, it needs to be approved by the board. We are moving forward with, as you can see, we'll have a carryover balance, but we're going to, as we inform the staff, hold them to their budgets so that we can continue to do the great things that we have coming up. We're planning for any type of curriculum update, any facility increase, as well as a technology refresh. And so we want to make sure that we have the funds when those big projects come. And so we're holding to this tight budget as we move forward. So, the recommendation is to approve both the federal budget as well as the operating budget.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Next, we've got the CPC lease.
Yes, of course, we have this partnership with our Children's Protection Center, which is located behind us. Both attorneys, their attorney and our attorney, and Jennifer and I have gone through the lease and the payment cycle. And so we have a final lease proposal for your review and your approval. The recommendation is to approve this lease.
All right. Any questions on the lease?
I'm making a motion to approve Superintendent's recommendation, and I have a question.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Got a motion and a second. Discussion.
There's no money being.
Yes, so you'll see that the rental or the lease is $1 per year as agreed upon or talked about earlier. But then on page 44, the second page of the lease, I believe number 6, number 7, and 8 discuss the payments or the reimbursement for utilities.
Right.
Based on the percentage of the building that they will be housed in, as well as any cleaning service that we provide. And then if there are any taxes that have to be paid or any additional fees that's outlined in 8 and 9, then they will, based upon the percentage of the building, they'll pay that as well.
Okay.
Very good.
Is there a plan to renovate the other side of this building?
So the plan is the rest of what's to our left, which is will complete the L, as well as the outside is part of phase 2, phase 3 for them. And as soon as they are finished raising additional funds, I think Jennifer said about $250,000 left, then they'll move to the next phase. They just finished adding the medical room this month in there, so they can actually do all their medical examinations here at this site. And so they're working towards the last phase, the last 2 phases.
Awesome. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, removing technology from inventory.
Yes, the first one, we had a teacher's laptop to be stolen. And so we've completed the police report as outlined in law, and now we need to remove it from our inventory. And so the recommendation is to approve the removal of the laptop that was stolen from the teacher to remove it from our inventory. And the recommendation is to approve.
All right. All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Question? not removing any buses, right?
No.
Laptop. Laptop. All right. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Remove tech assets from inventory.
It's the proposal or action item before you to replace the Jacksonville High School drafting and CAD desktop computers with new desktop computers. Recommendation is to remove the existing computers from the inventory, and then we're going to replace them.
All right. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item we've got our legal transfer request.
This board, we have 18 requests this month, both coming in and going out. The recommendation is to approve all the recommendations that you have before you, and then we'll move forward with meeting with the families as they come into the district.
All right, so we got a recommendation to approve the legal transfer request as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Next item we got is personnel, and we got an addendum to the personnel before you. So I entertain a motion to add the addendum to the agenda.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any questions on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that addendum has been added. Then we have the original addendum in our packets. Any questions or discussion on personnel would need to be held in executive session. Is there a need for that? Question? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Next item, student disciplinary action.
We do not have any for
All right, we're all behaving. All right.
Man.
All right. Next item on the agenda.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank y'all very much. Have a good night.
Okay, down here. We have the signatures here.
I know.